Good morning, everybody. Vindy here with FuturestraderElite. Let's see here. If you're already on, don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. Help YouTube's algo push it out there first thing this morning. Morning, Phipps, Remod, Leroy. Good to see you. Good to see you. So the market's been rather bullish here in pre-market this morning. Been watching it pretty close on this whole drive up. And I got caught up in it trying to counter trend trade somewhere back. I don't remember the level, but it was down here somewhere, probably around 730 or 40 or something, I believe it was. And I ended up averaging in all the way up here into this 4-hour zone and caught this drop here. Had to be willing to sit through some drawdown. I was in the red like $1,500 or better. And then, but averaged into it. Caught a lot of that drop, scaled out a little too early on a lot of it. Could have held most of it for the entire drop because I let some runners go down in the to catch almost the whole drop, and took me from what I was in the red to about 560 in the green. And the simple fact that we didn't get the pullback that I was looking for, which you would normally see in pre-market, they held. This is nothing. So coming into the open of the market, what my mind's telling me here as I'm reading structures. Now the 4-hour candle that we're currently working on, they should have run it back, in pre-market, or at least more than they did. And the low of that 4-hour candle is around 564, way down here. The bottom here, bottom of this 4-hour zone down here. So, they didn't do nothing here. The fact that they only came back here and caught up on the 50 EMA on the 1 minute, and they've been consolidating like this, tells me that today may end up very bullish. And we might see some kind of manipulation here at the start of the day when they hit that bell. Now we might see a quick down move, but I would not be surprised if it's a quick down move for a push higher right here because how bullish it's been for the last hour or two. Just to keep that in mind, on the higher time frame, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, looking really bullish. Broke trend lines. Now the 4-hour didn't. If it closes up here where it is, it will. It needs to close above like 730 or something like that in about 30 minutes. If it closes above 730, the 4-hour will break the trend line. And then the 2-hour still has to wait for 30 minutes. So does the 1-hour. But if they all close above 730 or higher, then it's going to be pretty bullish. The 15-minute closed above it. The 30-minute closed above it, I think. Yeah, the 15 and 30 did already. So we'll see what kind of manipulation they want to throw in. We've got about 45 seconds before the market opens. And then we'll be ready to get down with it. Now, question being, if they do try to do some kind of pullback here at the open, question's really going to be, how far will they pull it back? I'm thinking possibly 700, maybe come tap the 5-minute 50 or sweep down here on the 30-minute 1-hour lows or something. One order down here at that 30-minute 1-hour low mark. Got 10 seconds here. Could be completely wrong. They might want to push this straight down at the open and take out the bottom of this 4-hour candle. I don't know. But it seems like as bullish as it's been, they would try to snap it down just to push it right back up. Tag that 5-minute 50 on the money. See if it holds or if they can push through it. Trying to figure out where they want to go here at 700 whole number, protecting pretty good here. It's like they're struggling there. Hitting the push there. Oh, barely missed my order. Barely missed my order. Gonna pick me up? Can't believe they missed it. Typical. Help to add to the list there. Look how man, look at that. Looks like it touched my order down there and it never triggered it. So I just took one for the scalp. Beautiful pullback there. Oh, look at this. Pushing it right back down. Um Now I don't like that. Unless they want to try to take out that pivot there. I really don't want to see them come below this orb low. They come down and tag this structure here. We got this wick to the left over here, about 675. I think I'll stay out of it for just a second here. Oh, it's not crazy, Leroy. It's just lots and lots of screen time and reading structure. You know, it's all part of what I do and what I teach. Part of the course and part of the Future Trader Blueprint. The cheapest way in is the Future Trader Blueprint. Right now, it's on Amazon for like $9.99, and it to me has a lot of information in it for $10. Uh, but like that would be a in right there, and then if somebody want to go deeper, the precision trading courses out there. This is nice right here. Look, they wick down just past this wick I was just talking about, and look how strong they push that back up right here. I should put an order there. I was actually looking at that. Oh well, I missed the train on that one for sure. Not chasing it. Question is, are the Bulls going to have what it takes to push this, break a structure upside, you know, or are they just going to range it? Are they going to come up and tap that pre-market high? Or are they going to break it? We'll see if they can get there. We got some imbalance up there, another 4-hour zone. Because if they can take out this pre-market high, they're definitely going to 800 or better. First, they got to get up there and take it out, though. Section there just in case. See how they tapped it and Rejection, automatic rejection. Oh, push, 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 push through it. Push. There you go. Push. Going. Nice. Keep pushing. Beautiful. Keep pushing. Go get it. Go get it. $100 move on one micro just that fast. Oh, tap it. I'll close it out manually. Wow. Beautiful. Anybody get in on that? All right. Got here. Get up in about 822. So it's right up here where we're at. Bottom side is imbalance. We could see some resistance for sure. 809, we tapped into a pivot at 809 on TradingView. But they're being pretty bullish, so they could just start pushing through everything. And we got 23 minutes still before all them higher time frames close. And if they close way up here, that's clearing the trend line really good. As long as we don't have no, as long as they don't try to range this back here at the open and bring it back down to this low, because then it'll close in under the bearish trend line. Designer, I don't know about no 2-second delay. Any research you do, most delays on YouTube range anywhere from most of them 7 to 10 seconds. So mine's usually falling right in range. You might need to refresh your browser or something, because mine's keeping up with it. And you're not really supposed to be following my trades. You're supposed to be planning your own trades and trade your own plan. Almost everything I do, I talk about way before I ever do it, unless I'm scalping or something. But everything that just happened there, I said before the market opened. I said was probably going to pull down to here and how bullish it was in pre-market. They'd probably pull back to this area and then push. That's exactly what they did. Now, if you wasn't on before the market opened, then you missed that part. But it was already there. I've never even watched anybody else stream and it be no 2 seconds. So I don't know. I appreciate that remod. Yeah, we was talking about it. It did what we said it was going to do so far. I explained about the trade that I took in pre-market and what made me feel like it was going to be so bullish. I got caught up trying to counter trend trade in that bullish run, and this is all we got for the short. I locked in green on it. I had to average into my trade with a bigger position than I wanted, really, but it worked out in the end. But then, I mean, it was all set in stone right there, you know. Y'all hear all the time. I don't know if there's any ICT traders on here. I don't trade that, but here's a prime example of what ICT is. And I'm going to walk you through it even though I'm not an ICT trader. Right here. Accumulation. Manipulation. All ICT is right here, and this is a very good example. Distribution. ICT is accumulation, manipulation, distribution. That's all ICT is. I don't really look at this, but I know we've had ICT traders in the stream before. I guess I'm just going over it. And if I do have any ICT traders in the stream right now, correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm not, but this is what they're looking at. I know all about all kinds of strategies and different ways to trade. This is a 100% legit ICT setup. AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And this is all they usually play. This is the plays that they look for. And if you know what you're looking for, they do work. I mean, I'm not an ICT trader. I look at this completely different. That's just their lingo and how they look at that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is their style. And I guess in a way, I mean, I know a lot of different strategies. So I don't look at it the same way as an ICT trader. But at the same time, I guess the way I trade and some of the things that I implement fall right in line, you know. It's a prime example though. This is one of the cleanest examples of ICT that I've seen in a while, first thing at the open, to be honest. Height accumulation. You nice manipulation. And then bam, smacked it right there. Appreciate it, enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, ain't that what they say? Enemy, you new? Don't recognize the handle there. Glad to have you here if you're new. Welcome to the FTE community. Well, what a move that was. You know, I could really be done for the day. Well, I mean, I still got some accounts to rotate through, but I I guess I ought to go ahead and rotate. I don't need to be trying to get more than what I got in these accounts here. I'm fine with 4, 5, and $600 in an account. I don't need to be hitting no home runs or nothing like that. I guess since I'm not an ICT trader, uh, sometime maybe today after the stream's over, I'm cutting this clip right here and I'm putting a clip out as a non-ICT trader on how clean that setup was at the open market here from pre-market coming into the open market. Although they have some different styles out there. Some people talk about using the 9 a.m. candle and all this mess, and that really don't fall in line with some of them theories of the 1 hour candle. Guys, let me know in chat about the lag. Designer was talking about it's unusual because mine's really bad. I got about a 6 second. I'm showing a 6 second delay on my side. Well, they're cleaning up that 4 hour imbalance zone up there. Right now we have got 671 and wow, really? We got 200 points, over 200 points in the orb already? Ridiculous. All right then. ATR's not too bad. It's in the 30s actually. I mean the 20s. High 20s right now. Usually it's 50 or 60 this time of the morning. Looking good on the higher time frames, everybody. Looking real good. Real good. Got some more 15-minute imbalance overhead up here. It looks like at 975 to 995. I'm sure we got more overhead too. Yeah, there's some way up high, the 30,000 range. So if I can clean this up a little bit, blowing through all these 4 hour zones, it closes. That one, probably not going to them out of there. Here needs to put in very close to that close to the bottom side of that imbalance. About just under 12 minutes for the 15-minute to close and the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. If they hang out up here, we're definitely going to be good. Although a lot can happen in 11 minutes. If they range it all the way back down, it ain't as good. But it'll still be bullish looking, but it just won't look as good. They could range it and take it straight into some chop. How's everybody doing so far at the open of the market here? Anybody take any trades straight out of the open, or everybody just kind of waiting? Get that push. Glad I stayed away from that short. Whenever you get this rollover like this and that big red candle like that, and you don't get no follow through pretty quick, you should know it's too bullish most of the time. Especially when you got this and then this one closed inside that one. Yeah, ain't no way. No way. Six, 7. You got about 6, 7 seconds. Usually what you got, that's about what I show on my side about every day. Sometimes it'll get a little higher, but then I can buffer one of my screens and it catches right back up. It's like it starts up falling behind a little bit sometimes because of I don't know, maybe an internet issue, or maybe a ad or something popped up on there and slowed it down somehow. I don't know. If you're enjoying the streams, don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. It helps other traders find us on YouTube and helps their algo push it out a little further. We'll get 20 likes today. I'm going to give away a copy of the Trader Mindset book. Been a while since we got to give the Trader Mindset book out. And if you're new here to the FTE community and are looking for a place to start, really, uh, if you want to learn more, the Future Trader Blueprint is on Amazon book, and that's the most cost-effective way to enter into the FTE framework. If you wanted to go deeper, of course, the precision trading courses out there, and then all that's tagged to the YouTube stream. Should be a list of products there. Of course, the kill zone indicators probably. Um, I'm gonna hang out on the sidelines for now, man. It's just really bullish right now. It's being up here at 900, making me think I might think about 30K level if they try to fill that overhead and balance up there is getting close to 30K. I could possibly think maybe about shorting up there, maybe first reaction short play. It seems like whatever's going on with the in the Middle East ain't really affecting the market right now anymore. I think the market's probably over that because it lasted for so long anyway. Uh, and now they're just kind of like, well, whatever. But we still have some AI concerns and the whole bubble thing and whether, you know, valuations, companies are worth what the valuations are on tech and all that. So, there's still things that can weigh, and that's been also all that's been a big part of a lot of the swing chop that we've been seeing the last few weeks. Kind of like price was stuck there for a minute at the pivot. Leroy got Jomo. I got Jomo right now too. Maybe they come on and push down and get that orb high retest right here for a bounce, maybe. Hadn't really seen a clean orb play lately. That's how you kind of know when you're seeing stuff out there, all that noise, and you hear, oh, I play this one setup every day and it pays every day. See, I know you be seeing them things on YouTube like that. That old orb is one of them. Now, we track the orb every day. We've been tracking the 15-minute orb for months now, and it sure don't hit every day. Nowhere near it here lately. So, I would like to see a good clean orb test because it can produce some great trades. But to try to say it's the only thing you play and it hits every day, I don't think so. But then people buy into that. I'm here to tell you that it's wrong. Like a lot of other noise out there. So it's coming down. Maybe we get the retest. Maybe it bounces. It's a bullish enough right now that it could be a retest of the orb high for bounce. We got a clean break above it. It drove one up to the pivot. They could get a clean retest here, bounce to the upside, which would be in line with their legs here. And you got a leg, small pullback, leg, small pullback. Although I don't like how this pulled back into this shelf here, but it did, and it went up another leg. If we could pull back to the orb, that would be clean for another leg up. Building a flag up here. Long one. More consolidation. Or inflation. Gonna be able to bounce it here at the old time? No. More like they want to take it down some more, hey, but it wouldn't be the first time I was wrong. Won't be the last. Eight oh, 80, 880, 810 level down here might be where they're trying to push it to. Maybe bounce out of that level here. Came back down into here and pushed all the way back on that leg. ATR don't really seem to be reflecting price action. Saying it's in the 20s, ATR, but man, it seems like it's almost frozen in spot. My funded futures is running some kind of promo today. Go pro twice with Buy a 50K Pro plan at 30% off. You receive the second 50K Pro plan free after passing account purchase with code. Uses only lasts till 4. I don't know. They all the time running these promos that only are like during the day for one day. That is, if anybody's interested in my funded futures. Nice bounce off the pre-market high here. Wasn't even paying attention. Overnight high and the 5-minute 50 pretty close together here. Act as some kind of support. 736 where it wants to. 730 overnight. What an ugly sell-off. Ugly sell. Morning swing. Oh man, I'm just sitting over here on the sidelines. Good job, Phipps. What'd you do? Get back to the green on this short side here? I'm taking it. Got caught a lot of the short, maybe. That's a big win. 50 in the red, back to 91 in the green. A lot of times, if I got to do something like that, I usually rotate out of that account, log it down for a day. There have been days where I've been down $1,000 or $2,000 on something, and I get it back to $5 in the green, and I shut it down. Break even. Tired this morning. Wang, we didn't see last night on Tokyo session. I was wondering if maybe you didn't see us. I remember you saying sometimes, or it said it don't notify you. I don't know why it's doing that. Um, but yeah, it was went live about 7:40 market time, 7:45. Or I'm sorry, 6:40 or 6:45 market time, not 7. Sure you got them bell notifications set the right way? You're subscribed, but you probably got the notification set to where you ban me. Like, no, I don't want to see that. That's that dude with the 8 ball. maybe try the personalized option instead of if you on the bell notifications, if you got it set to all, maybe try the bell or the personalized, maybe. I don't know, it's weird. Push one more, good push. Nice. Beautiful little base hit there. Scalpy, scalpy. Hey, I got one question. Did anybody get in the long out of the zone that I drew? I know we got a delay on the stream, but it was there with plenty of time to make a trade plan if you wanted to trade that zone. Nice. Remod and Leroy took the long out of the zone. I actually didn't take it out of the zone. I wasn't paying attention to it that bit much. I was looking at something else. But did get me a nice little scalp there. I think I got like 80 made $80 off that scalp, I think. Something like that. Nice little base hit. Nice when you can take a scalp and they work in your favor real fast and you can be done and get back on the sideline. ATR says it's in the 30s. I don't know about all that though. And a 15-minute candle is about to close in just under 3 minutes. Looking real good the way it pushed out of that 15-minute 50 EMA. You know, if they can close it above 720 or so on the 15-minute, looking even better. If they get it above the 5-minute 50 on the 15-minute chart and that candle closes, looks even better. Still got to be wary of the short play here though. If this is going to trend like a lot of other days have been, they could come up here and sweep the pre-market high again where the 50 EMA on the 1 minute is. Say 785 to 785 to 800 area. They could sweep up there and reject, you know, for another leg down. See how bullish they want to be? The bias ain't near as bullish as it was just for the fact that they gave all that move back and put in a lower low there. So have to be careful with it. Tread lightly. Keep tight wrist. Don't thank me, Remod. I just put the box down there. You know, if you build a trade plan around it and you're trading your plan, that's all you, bud. Great job. That's how you do it. Plan the trade, trade your plan, let it do the work. You're up quite nice. Over 600 bucks. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. I like the discipline and the risk management. That means you'll at least lock in that 100-point move. So that's beautiful. Guaranteed 600. You know, if it don't come, tap it. It's a good spot where you're at. You say 745. Nice job. And I only took one micro for itty bitty scalp. Look at you. We're rooting for you. I want to see him push above the 50 here. I would suggest that if it keeps moving to the upside, I'd start scaling out around 800 if it's going up there. At least downsize maybe a little bit. Lock in some of it. 30. I guess you got stopped out probably. As long as you didn't move. Yep, yep. Kind of thought maybe you would be there, Remont. Still a great trade. $600. Beautiful hit. Beautiful hit. Nice. Good job, Leroy. I'm glad you guys planned your trade and traded your plan. You know, I mean that's how it's done. All that sitting around and JOMO and patience and discipline, and you waited until it got into that territory, built your plan around it, and executed. That's what you got to do. Sounds like both of y'all executed very well. Got up here to the 50 like we was talking about and tried to roll here. We'll see if they try to take this down and put it lower, or if they're gonna clean this up and try to be bullish here maybe. Put us a little trend line here. Take our zone off down here. Maybe we get us a little something overhead here. See if they're going to be putting in a wedge here or something. Try to track them and see what they want to do. There. There. Um, we'll see. High or low here. If they build off of this to the upside, or if they can push through to the downside. Always like to see it when you guys are locking in them trades like that, locking in the green. Excuse me. I appreciate them kind words, Leroy. I appreciate that you're showing up daily on the streams and sharing, and I appreciate you putting in the work, the discipline to make it happen. You know, I so bad kind of want to play long, but I also feel like if I do, that they're gonna be like, "Hi, hi, Vindy, we tricked you. We're going to the dark side of the moon." So I'm gonna sit on the sidelines. No reason to try to force another dollar out of the market. Had I been paying attention when I drew that zone on down there, I could have got a better trade, better entry, but I have too many moving pieces all day. So, like I can barely focus on one thing at a time because so many different things are happening. I appreciate that, Remont. Thank you for the kind word. Trying to just build a good community. What it's all about. What it's all about. Finish. I'm gonna have to mow my grass again today, probably. I'm pretty sure I mowed like 2 days ago. But we keep getting this rain, and I swear every time it rains an inch of rain, 2 inches of rain, my grass grows like 3 inches. This mowing season been frustrating from the very beginning. Like I can't keep up. Shouldn't have to mow 2 times, 3 times a week. It's ridiculous. Oh, look at that. Uh, Trader Merlin posted in the PNL and Discord already this morning. Check it out. Trader Merlin. Locking it in. Uh, Locked in over $1,500 across 3. Beautiful job, Merlin. Beautiful. I don't know if y'all know who I'm talking about. Trader Merlin in Discord is his username. He's quite often on the streams in the morning as Merlin here on the stream chat. I'm pretty sure he was here yesterday. I don't know about today, but he's an elite member of FTE. I've been through a lot of stuff, taken a lot of the stuff, and he's come a long way. So super proud of him. Where am I at? I'm at home, Phipps. I'm at home. Where are you at? Oh, I know what you mean. You mean where I be living at? Like what destination? Live in America. Hey, home Colorado. How do you say it? Do you say Colorado or Colorado or Colorado? I was actually born there, believe it or not. Born in the great state, Colorado. You know where Music City is, then you know where I be. I could throw a rock. But I could, well, not re I don't think I got a powerful enough arm anymore to do it. I'd say I could throw a rock and hit Music City. Gonna be moving soon, huh? Where about you trying to relocate to? Miami, Florida? Talking to. They slow grinding this up this trend line. I ain't even paying attention. Miami, Florida. Go on, get it. Go down there and get in on all that partying. I think my oldest son was talking about going to college uh, somewhere near in Miami or something at one point. I was like, no, you ain't. Don't be going to college down there. Bentonville, you work for Walmart? You moving to Bentonville because you uh high up Walmart like CEO or something? Oh, I thought that was probably the only reason to go to Bentonville would be I used to work for a company out of Arkansas all year. They wasn't in Bentonville. They close is maybe close to Hot Springs, Arkansas, maybe. Remember the name of that town, but I'm pretty sure it was close to Hot Springs. Ain't there Hot Springs, Arkansas? We're gonna roll over. Nice. I hope you are too, Phipps. You can do it, my man. You can. if you can fix your first entry reversal. Awful. What do you mean fix your first entry reversal? Are you saying that your first entry reverse, are you taking a first entry reversal play and your entry's not working? If that is the case, then you means you're probably early. Means you might need to be waiting on confirmation for the first entry reversal play. It's kind of what I figured you was talking about. So really, you're counter trend trading, and you're doing it too early. We've all been there for sure. When you take a first entry reversal play, is it always the long side? I could probably fix this for you on stream while we're talking because I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, not 100% sure then. That sounds a little different than what I was thinking without seeing one of your trade plans or one of them that you took that didn't work out. Um, what you do need to remember though, excuse me, is not all trade, even if say that you figured that out uh, and you get it worked out to where your first entry, well, you say if you can get it, fix it on your first entry reversal that you'll be profitable. That's not going to be accurate for every day. Um, a trade's not always going to be the same or work out the same way anyway. But what you need to really pay attention to is high time frame bias. There are certain trades in my toolbox that will work, say 80 to 90% of the time in a bullish bias trend, high time frame bias. But then if that bias turns bearish on a high time frame, that win rate will go from 80-90% to possibly 20 to 30, maybe 40 or 50, depends on the day, or zero. So, I mean, I've seen it happen. That's why we got to adapt to the market, but you need to pay attention to your trades, how they perform by higher time frame bias and structure. Okay. I know that you okay, so you do follow high time frame, but are you paying attention to this particular trade versus what the bias is? The trade can be a completely different trade when it's bullish bias or if it's bearish bias. You can always take the same trade no matter the bias, but it will typically perform differently, is what I'm getting at. Like in the market we're in right now, when I see most reversals, I hadn't been taking them. I'm waiting for the reversal to happen, pop, and then I'm looking for the short play because everything is bearish. So I don't really even want to look for the long. And the only real long that I want to look for would be like the big sell off we had this morning. You know, I'll pay attention to something big like that, or if we're in a bearish market and it slams down 200-300 points, in a matter of minutes to a particular key level from a high time frame, I might take that bounce long, maybe. Other than that, when we're in bearish bias, not really looking to take these longs that much because typically you're going to get something that's going to come here, it's going to hit the 50 EMA and come down. Now they're trying to grind this up. Now they're trying to break it back down. So if they come down and break through all these wicks over here and get down into this zone here, 700 or whatever, they could be rolling this back over. And then if they come put in a lower low, I'm going to be thinking, well, I probably need to short under 700. I need to take profit once we get into a lower low situation and then let it do its bounce, its relief bounce, and then get back in it, you know, on the rise for another short play. I don't know. I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get too deep at. That's what all the stuff I've put out there part of what I teach. I'm not going to be teaching on stream. So. Sorry, I got off my rocker there for a minute. Let me get back in my lane. All right, no problem. Phipps. What's going on, HB? Uh, HB, I use all higher time frames. I'm not so. I mean, all right. You asked a question about the 15-minute higher time frame for long short trend, and then you say the issue with the higher time frame, they can switch very quick and one can't. Well, candles. Well, you know what? Well, I'll say this. Just because you can't choose your bias long or short by looking at 2 4-hour candles on a chart, or 2 2 hours, or or you can't. You got to quit comparing candles side by side or whatever that mess is. You got to zoom out of the high time frame charts, zoom out, and look at the high time frames. I'm just going to leave it at that because I teach all this stuff on how I read structure. I'm not going to do it on a stream. Zoom out on the higher time frame. High time frame trend bias, whether it's bullish or bearish, is by zooming out of a chart and looking at the chart, not comparing candles day by day or every hour or whatever. You have to look at the chart and you can see the trend. Put some trend lines on, do something like that. I'm gonna leave it at that though, because we can. I appreciate the questions, but I got a lot of education out there about all this and the way I read structure. So, um, slow and steady. But no, I don't just use one time frame. I don't just use the 15 minute. I look at every day, every single day. I'm watching the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 30 minute, the 1 hour, the 2 hour, and the 4 hour. And occasionally, depending on the day, I'll look at the 8 hour, the daily, and the weekly. Why I'm trading during the day. Now I will look at the monthly and weekly, when I'm off stream or I'm doing some charting or looking at some other things for myself on the charts. Um, I know that like that they can be like that. I understand that, but I don't really know how to put it here on stream while we're talking about it, other than say I don't remember who it was, but 2 weeks ago, I think it was a Friday, if I remember right. It was on like June 26th, I think, or something like that. Because I put a video out about this 15-minute trade that I took that day on stream. I had that zone drawn on my chart in pre-market. When we started to stream before the market opened, that box was on my chart. It took like 2.5 hours for price to get to that box that day after the market opened. And I front loaded my orders into that trade. I didn't wait for confirmation. I had them sitting on the chart to be picked up in that zone because that's how strong I felt about that area. And somebody was in the stream. I don't remember who, but was like, didn't understand why I took the trade. They said the 15-minute chart was looking bullish that day, and this, and that. And so I pulled the chart over on the screen during the stream and explained what I was looking at and why I did what I did. Not all traders are going to read structure the same way. I don't really know how to change that. People are going to look at charts and see what they want to see. It happens every day. I do go more in depth about it, in my course, but I don't really know where to go from there. I mean, there's just so much that goes into it. I don't know how long you've been reading charts and structure and all that, but and we're not We're not trying to predict where anything's going to go. We're not trying to predict where the market's going to do something, but what we are trying to do is find areas of confluence where we might see reaction, whether it be long or short, and high time frame helps us with that. And you can be bearish. You can have a high time frame bearish bias and the entire intraday chart be bullish. But it's intraday bullish. It's not high time frame bullish, it's high time frame bearish. And the same thing goes the other way. You can have high time frame bullish chart, high time frame, but the intraday be bearish. All concepts that somebody has to wrap their mind around when it comes to trading, especially when we trade from a low time frame intraday. Kind of like that trade I was trying to explain. It was bullish intraday that day. High time frame was very bearish. And so when that bullish move finally moved, however many points it was, 400 or 500 points, I shorted at a particular zone that was on my chart 2 hours before it happened. Like today, the 4-hour is in a uptrend from a swing point, but one candle can take the small time frames all bearish. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, one candle can flip the trend upside down intraday, but that has nothing to do with the bias of the market. Now we're having two conversations on here. One we're talking about intraday trend, the other one we're talking about high time frame bias, and I just explained those two don't always coincide together. Let me pull this chart over real quick. This is a 4-hour chart right here. Okay. 4-hour chart, bearish. 4-hour chart is super, super bearish. Nothing about this chart is screaming bullish to me. Okay, here we go. Bullish candle, bearish candle, bullish, 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 bullish. This is the candle, first candle that closed at 10 o'clock market time or whatever. Right here, this green one coming to the R2. This is the 4-hour candle we're working on now. Already come all the way down to here, 616. So yeah, this little thing right here is bullish. This little run on the 4-hour chart. Is it bullish overall? Absolutely not. And now we're putting in this 4-hour candle here. So we got to wait till this closes, no matter what, before we can make a decision about anything. And then look what it's got to do if you really want this to try to get bullish. Got to break every one of these. Look at all this resistance. And then we got this trend line right here. Until I see the 4-hour chart break this trend line up here and take this out over here, this huge red candle, we are going to be bearish. The high time frame will be bearish for me as a trader until I see that happen. That don't mean you can't trade long during the day, because you can have intraday bullish setup or runs, especially when you're comparing it to a 4-hour chart where you could have 5, 6, 7, 800 points to move one way or the other. Now, everything on my, no, nothing on my 4-hour chart has anything to do with no 1-minute chart. It all has to do with high time frame stuff. Man, I ain't even been paying attention. Look at this drive out of that 15-minute zone we had down there. Man, what a push. Couple hundred points from that zone we had down there. Gotta love it when that happens. Love it. I'm not I'm not going to say that really anybody needs to look at any high time frame chart. There's plenty of people that trade every day on the low time frame and don't even pay attention. But for me as a trader, well, with that said, let me compare it like this. You have people that do that, but then let's say back here, they was in this run at the open of the market, came up here, and they was one of them traders who are just trade the low time frame chart. They're holding and have no idea why we rejected right here because they don't pay attention to nothing. Or they'll wonder why they was in this short and then for some reason it wanted to bounce out of this level and come up here. You ain't going to pinpoint none of that by looking at these low time frame charts. The reason I'm a structured trader is what reason I look at different time frames and why I read structure. I'm not saying anybody has to do things the way I do them. That's just what I do as a trader because I like to understand why price is reacting the way it is. You know, price, there's always a reason for the price to be reacting the way it is. I'm not saying it's necessarily got to have something to do with the 4-hour chart, but it more than likely has something to do with somewhere between the 15-minute and the 2-hour chart most of the time, and then occasionally the 4-hour chart. So I just like to read structure. I'm not saying anybody else has to do it, but if you've ever been a trader who's been in a trade and doesn't understand what just happened out of the blue, probably because you're not paying attention to anything else on another time frame. And that's just the honest truth, because I used to be that trader. And the reason I am the way I am today is because I needed to understand why things weren't working in my favor. And so I got really good at reading structure and trying to understand why things bounce and reject and move around on this chart the way they do. There is a rhyme to the reason every time. Got to find it. Appreciate it, Leroy. We've all been that trader at some point, for sure. Nobody's ever just jumped on the charts as a new trader and knew anything. They thought they knew, but they didn't know what they was getting themselves into. Not one trader. If they ain't never traded and they jumped in a chart, they have no idea. And none of us did. So that's how we learn, putting in the reps. That's fine, HB. I mean, whatever works for you as a trader. You don't have to do anything like I'm doing. It's just what I like to do. That's what I'm saying. No two traders are the same. If you're doing something that works for you, you should never change that. You should keep doing what you're doing. And that goes for any trader out there. If you find something that is working for you, there's no reason for you to try to change that, because you found something that fits your style or whatever you're doing or your way of thinking. And that's what it boils down to at the end of the day as a trader. You know, everything's not going to work the same for each trader throughout. That's why you can take a strategy and give it to five traders who are consistent, and you're still going to get 5 different results. That's because of psychological side. They might all be consistent, but they still are not all going to trade the exact same trade the exact same way. Oh, I know, and I'm not saying you are HB. And I know as a trader that not everybody needs to do what I do. I know that for a fact. I mean, I don't necessarily have to spend as much time as I do on a 4-hour chart. Like I said, I'm very analytical type of person. Uh, I gotta know, I gotta understand, and I've been trading a long time. I've had a lot of questions over the years that I've had to teach myself on my own, and uh, and learn to read these charts. So and say I didn't know if you're a scalper. Uh, I mean, if you mainly scalp and that's all you do, then I guess in the manner of speaking, maybe not with the 4-hour, but it depends on what kind of scalper you are. If you only take a certain amount of scalps in a time in a day or whatever, you may use some higher time frames to find your best scalp opportunities, like areas of high confluence where you'll get the rejection or the reversal, which will give you a better return on your trade more than likely than just trying to trade intraday scalping. Yeah. What Swain just said, and he's a scalper. And the way he does that is works in his favor really well. And that's kind of what I mean about the higher time frame support as far as helping scalper. But it just depends on how you're scalping. You got some scalpers that are HFT scalpers, and they be trading candlesticks, or maybe even a 15-second chart or different kind of styles. I try not to scalp as much as I used to. All I did last year was scalp for the most part. No, I think if you're a good trader and you know how to read the chart, you could just trade the 1 minute specialty scalp and make money. Yeah, I agree with that. Just depends on the strat. I agree with that. I've done a little more scalping over the last week or two than what I had been doing lately, but I've been trying to stay away from it. I guess kind of because if I try to be patient and take less trades and wait for a higher probability setup, even if I end up only scalping it and don't get what I want, I'm not stuck in the market. I'm not fighting the market. I'm waiting for my level to come into play because I've done my homework and think that that's the level I want to play. They don't always work out the greatest, and then sometimes they do. But I have a higher probability of it going in my favor, regardless if I lock in $10 or $1,000. The probability of it hitting is better because of all the confluence put into the zone versus just taking a trade or just trying to scalp candlestick or uh, three bars or any candlestick patterns. All those have a less probability of a trade plan put together, waiting for a particular setup or a zone where there's going to be buyers and sellers wait, depending on which way you're going. But there's a lot of ways to scalp. I mean, a whole lot. Yeah, swing. That's definitely a one of the things that kind of geared me to quit doing what I was doing so much. Um, because I've had that happen to me too many times back when I was scalping last year. Uh, or be too early or too soon, you know. I wouldn't. I'm not too big on saying that I would like to take a trade off of Confluence on a lower time frame chart, say because I execute on the 1 minute. But I will agree that there is confluence there, and that the best use of that is for after you're in a trade when you're managing it on whether to how long to stay in if you're trying to let something run. Swing does scalp. He don't avoid it. I just don't use scalping as my everyday method anymore like I did last year. I mean, I did scalp something earlier out of that 15-minute zone we had. I only made like 80 bucks, I think, but the base hit. They add up. And ever since I took that trade, we've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Ever since then, it's been like an hour. I took that trade way back here. And missed all this run here, which is fine. I don't really care about that. I'm gonna get paid anyway, whether I get a trade before I get off or tonight or tomorrow. I guess all in all, if you can get into a good zone, like I would like to be able to get into a good zone, get 3 to 5 micros, and TP 1, 2, and 3. Take profit one, take profit two, let one run, or have a take a TP3 and just get out of the trade. And that way, that's why I wait for a lot of these moves, because that way I kind of scalp out of maybe a first couple or so, and then let some run, which works as my runners work as Wang's talking about day traders. I've had some run anywhere from 100 to 300 points before, leaving some run. So, and then them are the ones that really locked in most of the gains out of the trade. Whereas scalping can go both ways. Take that one trade and do it that way, or you can scalp for the next 3 hours and be up and down, up and down, up and down, and possibly be at break even when you're done. Or possibly in the green, but maybe not as much green as you would have had to just wait on that one particular trade. That's why I've dialed things back. I've had a better year this year so far than anything I was doing last year, high frequency scalping, most days in the minis, not the micros. So patience. I dialed everything back in after Christmas. I started a new year in micros. I mean, I've traded the mini here or there. We was in them the other night, but mainly staying in the micros and staying for the setups. But with all that said, HB, it don't matter. What matters is what works for you as a trader. You know, I don't know how long you've been trading or how many years you have under the belt or experience, hours and all that, but what matters is what is working for you, you know? Um, do you have a strat down now that you're using that you are staying pretty consistent with, profitable wise? Are you taking payouts from it? I mean, all of that type of stuff is all that matters. I'd say out of everybody that that comes through the stream or that is on here quite often, I bet there's only a handful of us that actually trade pretty similar that I know of, you know. And some of them aren't even on every day because they got things going on in life right now. They ain't been around, but a lot of times people just find something that's working for them, and they might take bits and pieces of something else and kind of, they make it into their own. Minis are dangerous. There's no doubt about it, especially the way I trade them, or at least the way I do sometimes. We got a little wild on Tokyo session. Paid off to get a little wild the other night, though. Pretty good. They keep driving this up like this. Act like they're gonna take it to 30K. Acting like they want to take it to 30K. Can they do it? Are they gonna get it back to the high and roll it over? Yeah, the market will humble you pretty fast, for sure. I would say, I mean, you've been learning for 9 months to a year. I'd just say HB, you're still early, still early. Just keep at it. Don't give up. Don't quit. Never. You only lose if you actually quit and walk away from it. It's hard. Trading's very, very hard. Yeah, Leroy. That's true. That's very true. I agree with that 100%. Uh, no, it's the big misconception of everybody reading into all the noise out there about trading. It's so easy, you know. All you got to do is this, and this, and be buying a Lambo next month. You know, I mean, we've all seen the noise out there on the internet and all the fake stuff. And when I say fake, I mean yeah, it's all fake. No professional out there is putting videos online trying to sell you on their cause because they don't care about that junk. That's all for flash, all to get people to believe in something that's not really going on. And until people start understanding, I don't even know why people read in and believe all that. I guess I can if you're really, really young or something and ain't really got no life under your belt yet, life experience or whatever, but just a lot of noise. And then people get in it and they're like, well, what in the world? And it's nothing like what they was thinking it was going to be because of what they seen online. Now they should ban a lot of that stuff. I had traded for several years part time, um, and thought I knew quite a bit. And I've said this before, maybe only once on stream, but when I went full time 3 years ago, I almost felt like I had to relearn everything I thought I knew. Even after trading for about 11 years part time, something like that. Once I put both feet in, it was like a rude awakening, you know. And takes a lot of time. Takes a lot of time. And one of the biggest things you gotta beat is yourself, your own mind, you know, your own psychological mind, your emotions. That's one of the biggest things you're gonna have to overcome as a trader is being able to control that, not let your emotions do the trading for you. Appreciate that, Leroy. And I had somebody on stream sometime this morning, designer, somebody talking about my stream was lagging too bad and it They're usually like 2 seconds. Mine's showing that I'm like 1 or 2 seconds. Never been close ever in the last 4 or 5 months that's insane to me. That's right. I've never seen it get under, I think, 6 seconds. Um, in times you thought you was a trading master and got the hey, we all have HP. Man, I've been smacked by the market so hard in times. You know, and the hardest lessons I think come from or I mean the best lessons, I'm sorry, the best lessons come from getting hit by the market, getting humbled. You lose real capital in the market, like your own personal capital, is a lot different than losing some prop firm money. He read the FTE Trader Mindset book, HB. That's how. Well, he did read it, I think, but Wayne's been trading for some years. He's a full-time trader. I'm still around. I'm just watching the chart and watching y'all's conversation, I guess. Just didn't want y'all to think I was going missing in action or something. Like we've had this big old drive here ever since it come out of that 15-minute 50 zone. Like, why try to get into a long now? Why would I want to? Why would I want to try to start scalping now? I mean, you could. I guess you could try to on these intradays. I guess you put that trend line on there, buy close to the trend line. You know, even if it sweeps a little bit, sell into the first 5, 10, 15 point moves, and do it on and on. But see, they got this chop going on here. I really think they're going to try to either they're going to if they don't reject out of the high right here, which they very well could. But if they don't, I honestly think they're going to try to take us 30K. And on the flip side of that, if they do get up here and break the high and get above the R2 pivot, they're probably going to hit 30K fast. Like if they can slow grind this up here and break above the highs, we'll probably see a big red candle. I mean, a big green candle, more than likely pretty quick. Uh, I don't know, HB. I can't really stand having what's on there on there. I like my chart to be like I can't stand my chart to be cluttered. Sometimes it's cluttered. Like if I were to zoom out of it, if I zoom out, and then you start seeing everything else that is on my chart all over the place, all kinds of different levels and zones and everything else. But I try to keep it as clean as I can, especially zoomed in on the intraday, because I can't stand a cluttered chart. But as much as I can't stand a cluttered chart, there's certain things that I just want on there. You know, I get tired of tracking stuff, so there's certain things that I built the indicator so it automatically plots. exactly the things that I'm looking for. So I appreciate you thinking it's clean though somehow still. I've had people make comments on YouTube. They see some video or something like too much on your chart, too many lines on your chart, too much this, too much that. I mean, we could strip everything away from the chart and just be watching the candlesticks and actually just trade based on structure. But I mean, it's nice to have some things marked out that way. They're automatically there and I ain't got to look so hard at the chart, for myself. Tries to make it a little bit easier. Uh, well, Remon, you know how it is. I don't do that all the time. The main thing is to not get emotional. Not get emotional because you got yourself in the red. You got to stay calm and keep waiting. If you noticed on any days where I did something like that, I waited. I was calm. and I just waited for particular setups across the next few hours, you know, and then traded those and tried to hold them as long as I could, scaling out and leave some run in order to make that happen. And the whole theory behind, if you take a loss or get red, you should lock out of your account to protect your capital for the next day is really all part of the mindset thing. And that's the reason why we talk about that so much and why you should do that, because most people are going to let their emotions are going to get the better of them, because controlling your emotions at the trade desk is one of the hardest things to conquer. And for most people, sorry about that. I don't remember where I was at. My dogs just lost it. They was being really loud. Sounds like a couple transformers blew somewhere in the neighborhood. You know how loud those are. But I was talking about, oh yeah, about red days and being red and trades and locking out. The most important thing is if you are not in complete control at the trade desk with your emotions, especially when you get red, then it is best for you to lock out, walk away, protect your account. That way you can wait maybe till the next day, wait till you're in the right mindset, wait for another A plus setup before you try to get anything back. Because a lot of times when people get that red, for sure, their emotions start creeping up on them, and that's what puts most people on tilt is their emotions. And so yeah, there's a lot of times if I do get in the red while we're even on stream, I usually walk them back to the green while we're on stream most of the time, or I'll just get out of them. There are days where I'll just get out of them and wait uh, to the next day or the next trade session, whether it be at night or something. Just depends on the day, really. But I've kind of got the old mindset part down pretty good for the most part. Most of the time, I got off my rocker there for a couple weeks, not too long ago, and I had to get myself back in my lane. Now that got back in my lane, everything's been pretty good. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody red? I mean, is everybody green, red, little of both? Green some, red some, break even? Maybe you hadn't even traded that. Remember, I've done a whole stream before without trading. Wang said he's green, couple green, one red. Imod's green so far. Leroy's green. I'm green so far. Maybe I should just lock it down and not trade anymore. Yeah, we are cutting into the lunchtime, so you know what that means. HB, if it depends on the trade day, to be honest. Back when I was talking about that a minute ago, I was talking about on them particular days. Some of them days I know that Rema was talking about. I was waiting for particular setups because it took me like 2-3 hours. I remember uh, to do that, which I had to wait for particular setups. But then, depending on the day, I'm not going to say that I won't do some scalping in between some trades that I'm waiting for. If I seen some good clean scalps setting up, yeah, I might take them. You know, uh, here or there. It really does depend on the day because every day is different. You have to adapt to the market every day. It's always changing on the fly, so you have to be willing to adapt to it on the fly. They sure are taking their sweet time to get up to them highs, ain't they? I want to see what if it was going to get up to this level and try to reject, or if it was going to try to fly to the upside to that 30K mark, or got too deep in the lunch hour there. Wow, I could try to take at least maybe one more trade before I get off stream. I don't know if it's gonna give me any. I want to take. I don't want to try to force nothing. Now the ATR was below 10 a minute. Right, well now around 10, 12. Try for a first reaction short out of that high because it's getting real close to that R2 pivot. If it gets up there, and you have the 30-minute high, 1-minute high, 2-hour high, all the 4-hour higher time frame highs up there, which have not changed because it has not gotten any higher than that on any of them time frames. Then we'll only update when one of those time frames closes above their last high. They get up into this push here, they're going to be extended on momentum on the kill zone on the 1, 2, 5, 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, really over bot territory, and the 4 hours. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for first reaction short here. They done drove the momentum all the way over bot on all them time frames. Don't mean it's got to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. Could they get an intraday here? Double top on the intraday, smack it, and then get another hard rejection like they did? I don't like how they just rejected right there. So like that, they might not ever even get there. They could, that could be it there if they want to try to roll it over, but don't look at them. They're going to push. We see Vindy's orders up there. Let's go get them. Yeah, I like what Swain just said. I like that that last part because a lot of times when I'm red, that's all I try to do is cut it in half most of the time. You know, if I'm red 300 and I can get it to 150 in the red, I'm a happy camper. Or 500 to 250 or 2,000 to 1,000 would have been fine with me. It just so happens to be that happened, you know. Definitely don't try to force anything to make it happen because that's when you're gonna blow it. Trying to force it to make a manifest a trade that really ain't there. That's when it's gonna happen. Me and Swain, we can tell you all about needing $2 and blowing an account, or maybe a little more than that. But I did watch a reel the other day where a dude was talking about where he just wanted to make $1 more to get to some whole number, and he blew his account. I was like, wow, that had to hurt. I don't need no dollar that bad ever. But I know I've done it needing like $100 or maybe a little more than that. Maybe one time I'd have been like $50 and end up blowing a prop account and be like, "Are you serious? Did I just do this?" I don't know. Are they going to try to drive it up there and tag up there? Man, surely they ain't going to roll it over here. But they could. It's a lower high. Even though they got this drive up, it's lower high. What if they start working it back to the downside? Leave me at the trains. Biggest downside to this, they tried to come back now. They done cooled the momentum off some, which in return could make them push through this level. So I have to move my order out of there. I will try to short it from this level. On burrs, where you at? Push it on down. Break the barrier to the downside. I get below 900. Get below 900. Oh, it's one of those manipulation candles to the downside. One of them big ones. Come on down to the dark side of the moon. Yeah, it is. How low can you go? How low can you go? Can you go down to the floor? Dark side. Boom. Got like 310 points almost in the 4-hour candle that we're working on. And all that was put in candle. Now it's a little bit about time for them to come on, pull back a little bit. Let's cool down a little bit. Look at that 50% fib all the way down there. I don't know about all that. Come on, bears, push that on down. I should at least be able to get down to like 830 or so. Need to get below this level right here. Say 875 area. 880, below 880. Get below that. Then that might be the crack we need to see for a nice push to the downside. Come on, let's go. Trying to be bullish. They must be like, we want that high up there. On bears, push it down, push it into the next chart over something. Looking good. Short. Move my order up there. Still didn't tag it. But make me go full port. Playing musical chairs down there with my take profit zone. Oh, come on, bears. Bear up one time. Third time the charm. You gonna push down through there? Oh yeah, come on. Go. Well, up a little. Either gonna break off to the downside, or they're gonna pop it up there and try to hit that high. All right, I closed it out, man. Now it'll probably go. Mm. Oh, now it's probably gonna go. Probably gonna go down there and hit all my targets now that I'm out of it. So frustrating. I'm gonna go on and end the stream here, everybody. In a lunch hour. I appreciate everybody showing up and showing out. I'm gonna try to do the Tokyo session again tonight, more than likely. So I hope to see anybody there that wants to join in on the fun. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and appreciate all the support. I'll see everybody on the next one. Thanks.